Women don't choose the best man. They choose the one who performs power the best. That's why, again and again, the throne is taken by the loud, flashy fool rather than the thoughtful philosopher sitting in exile. You've seen it. You've felt it. The man with empty thoughts, a loud mouth, and no inner world walks into a room and somehow pulls gravity toward him. He moves like a king, not because he is one, but because he doesn't know he isn't. Meanwhile, the intelligent man, measured, thoughtful, complex, goes unnoticed. Not because he lacks value, but because he's not displaying it in the theater the world cares about. No one understood this paradox better than Michel Foucault. In his seminal work Discipline and Punish, he wrote, "Visibility is a trap. The fool doesn't fear visibility. He craves it. He lives in it. He thrives under the spotlight, not because he deserves it, but because he doesn't question the morality of being seen. He performs power without irony. He doesn't analyze the stage. He owns it." Foucault didn't see power as something you simply possess. He saw it as something that circulates, something you perform, reproduce, and enact. Power is not an institution and not a structure. Neither is it a certain strength we are endowed with. It is the name that one attributes to a complex strategical situation in a particular society, he wrote. So when a fool approaches a high-value woman and says something bold, loud, or even ridiculous, he's not being irrational. He's executing a strategy of power, even if unconsciously. In that moment, he wins. Not because he's smarter, but because he acts like he is. Meanwhile, the intelligent man becomes a prisoner of his own mind. He monitors himself, questions himself, restrains himself. Foucault warns that modern systems create what he calls docile bodies, people who internalize surveillance, who self-regulate, who hesitate. A relation of surveillance is inscribed at the heart of the practice of teaching, not as an additional or adjacent part, but as a mechanism that is inherent to it, he wrote. What does this mean for you? It means you were taught to second-guess yourself, to calculate before speaking, to rehearse before acting. And while you're still scripting the perfect sentence, the fool is already making her laugh. In this theater of life, power belongs to the bold, not the brilliant. The fool is free, not because he's brave, but because he's blind to the cages around him. You see the walls. He walks through them. He's unbothered, unapologetic, and unburdened by reflection. According to Foucault, that is the most dangerous form of freedom. Freedom of conscience can be more dangerous than authority or despair. The man who doesn't reflect dominates. He isn't distracted by inner doubt. And women, despite what they say, are drawn to that undistracted power. The intelligent man collapses under the weight of his inner contradictions. The fool has none. In the world of perception and dominance, that makes him terrifyingly effective. It's time to tear down the illusion you've lived under your whole life, that being a good man will get you a good woman, that being reflective, emotionally aware, and intellectually sound will somehow magnetize her to you. It won't. In Foucault's reality, you're not rewarded for inner virtue, you're rewarded for your utility within systems of power. And most of the time, the fool serves those systems better, not because he's competent, but because he plays the game without question. Women don't fall for the fool because they want fools. They fall for him because he navigates social structures effortlessly. He plays the role. He talks the talk. He doesn't resist the performance. In a world governed by optics, performance is power. Foucault explains that we live in a society of teacher judges, doctor judges, educator judges, and social worker judges. The reign of norms depends on them. Discipline and punishment define everything. The fool doesn't question these norms. He masters them. He doesn't ask if Instagram validation is fake, he dives in. He doesn't ask if flexing wealth is shallow, he flaunts it. He doesn't wonder if small talk is meaningless, he owns the room with it. Meanwhile, the intelligent man watches in horror, dissects, judges, and steps back. In stepping back, he steps out of visibility. He becomes a philosopher without a microphone, a sage whispering into a storm. And the world, and the woman, walks past him. Foucault understood this invisibility. He called it the violence of normalization. Judges of normality are everywhere. We live in a society where teacher judges judge, prescribe, and punish. What happens to intelligent men? They are measured, evaluated, pathologized. They feel wrong for being unsure, guilty for hesitating, out of sync for not performing masculinity through aggression. Here's the paradox: the fool, through his obliviousness, escapes judgment. His ignorance shields him from shame. He's not correct, but he's uninterrupted. That's what women often feel when they're with him, a man untouched by anxiety, a man who doesn't flinch when challenged, a man who doesn't negotiate with himself before he desires. To a woman living in a storm of judgment and comparison, His blindness feels like strength. Consider Foucault's idea of power knowledge. Power is everywhere, not because it embraces everything, but because it comes from everywhere. That's what makes fools dangerous. Their power isn't centralized, it leaks through everything: laughter, audacity, volume, simplicity, comfort and ignorance. And what woman doesn't want to stand beside power that doesn't need to prove itself? You, the intelligent man, keep trying to earn her. He simply claims her. You present your resume. He presents a smirk. You worry about consent, depth, long-term compatibility. He worries about nothing. And in that void of worry, he becomes magnetic. Foucault wouldn't call this justice. He'd say, this is how the architecture of power works. And unless you understand that women respond to power's performance, not its origin, you will keep watching the dance from the shadows. You'll remain unseen, not because you are small, but because you never stepped onto the stage. There's a particular humiliation for intelligent men, the moment you realize your understanding of the world doesn't give you leverage in it. Nowhere is this more brutally revealed than in attraction. You watch the fool win the room, her laughter, her attention, her body. And all you have is your clarity, your insight, your quiet rage. Foucault would say, what you lack is not worth, it's strategy. You were taught the world rewards knowledge mastery. But Foucault flips the table. Knowledge isn't for knowing, it's for cutting. Society must be defended. Knowledge is a weapon, not an ornament. If you don't know how to use it, you become a museum of intelligence rather than an engine of impact. The fool doesn't know theory, but he cuts the world open with presence. He dominates, not because he's brilliant, but because he's strategically uninhibited. The woman feels it. She feels it in how he looks at her, not with admiration, but with entitlement. While you hold your breath, crafting your words, he's already closing the distance. It's not that he deserves her. It's that you surrendered the moment you waited for permission. In the history of sexuality, Foucault argued, power is exercised rather than possessed. It is not the privilege of the dominant class, but the overall effect of its strategic positions. And here's the sting: stupid men often occupy better positions. They're loud. They're unashamed. They place themselves in the spotlight, not because they belong there, but because they don't know they shouldn't. Their stupidity isn't an absence, it's armor. They don't calculate risks, so they're never paralyzed. They don't reflect on social consequences, so they move with raw immediacy. And that immediacy, Foucault would argue, is what power looks like in the flesh. Power isn't silent. It isn't noble. It isn't hiding in books. It's laughing at the party. It's making a move. It's dancing terribly, but dancing first. And women? They don't wait for the man with the best vocabulary. They respond to the man who takes up space without apologies. Here's the deeper problem. As an intelligent man, you internalize your own invisibility. You start to believe it's a moral high ground. That by not playing the game, you're somehow above it. But that's a trap that keeps you lonely. Foucault warned against it. Where there is power, there is resistance. But resistance rarely wins. Often, it isolates. The stupid man doesn't resist the game, he masters it. His ignorance gives him agility. He doesn't stop to ask if his desire is politically correct, psychologically informed, or spiritually aligned. He just acts. And that's what women see. That's what they feel. That's what they respond to. Your depth becomes a handicap if you don't translate it into social energy. She can't feel the poetry in your mind if it never leaves your mouth. In this world, power is kinetic. The stupid man moves. You hesitate, and in that tiny delay, the night changes. She changes. You lose her. Not to someone better, but to someone faster. Foucault didn't just study prisons, hospitals, and schools. He studied how power wraps itself around bodies, choreographs behavior, and disciplines you without a whip or a command. You think you're free? You're not. You're shaped by what he called biopower, power that controls populations not through chains, but through norms, shame, silence, and internalized scripts telling you when it's okay to speak, move, touch, or desire. Here's where the stupid man beats you again. He doesn't follow these scripts, not because he's a rebel, but because he doesn't even know they exist. He lives outside the architecture of discipline. He is raw. And in a world sterilized by overanalysis, rawness feels like truth. Foucault teaches us that power produces reality. It produces objects and rituals of truth. Discipline and punish. Even the idea of being a good man is manufactured. Your politeness, carefulness, humility, they weren't born of virtue. They were programmed into you by a system designed to tame you. But desire doesn't obey that system. Attraction doesn't worship manners. Women respond to vibration. And the stupid man vibrates without a filter. He doesn't second guess. He doesn't self-edit. He doesn't try to appear worthy. He simply acts like he is. Foucault would call this the triumph of discursive dominance. He who controls the script controls the scene. The stupid man doesn't need a script, his presence is the message. You, the intelligent man, write brilliant monologues in your head, but forget to speak them out loud. You've watched a woman you cared about fall for a man who can barely spell his own name. Why? Because he entered her emotional space without fear. He didn't sneak in with credentials. He barged in with boldness. Here's the deadliest insight from Foucault: power is tolerable only when it hides most of itself. Its success depends on masking its mechanisms. That's the final wound. The stupid man doesn't look powerful, he feels it. And because he never reveals the machinery, because there is no visible effort, his confidence looks authentic, unmanufactured, real. That's what seduces. You, the thinker, build your case. He becomes the case. You try to prove you're worthy. He assumes it. In doing so, he bends the entire encounter around his gravity. She doesn't know why she's drawn to him. She can't explain it. That's because the stupid man operates beneath language. He triggers instinct, not logic. And instincts aren't impressed by essays, they respond to rhythm, dominance, audacity. You want to be chosen for your mind. But she chooses based on how your presence makes her feel. And the stupid man, by virtue of his blindness, makes her feel free. You sit there, drowning in your own mind, wondering how the world became an upside-down theater where ignorance wins and intelligence is punished. Foucault would say this was never a mistake. This is how the system was built. You've confused intelligence with power. Power doesn't belong to the rational, it belongs to the functional. The stupid man functions better in the social structures that dominate everyday life. He flows with the tide of signals, roles, impressions, and rituals. He doesn't resist the current, he rides it. In Foucault's Archaeology of Knowledge, he observed that there is not one silence, but many, and they are integral to the strategies underlying discourses. You've been silenced by your own awareness. You've swallowed words before you could say them. You've second-guessed your desires until they looked like threats. You waited for permission in a world that rewards those who take. And in that delay, in that intellectual stutter, she moved on. Not because she didn't feel something for you, but because you didn't make her feel something in herself. The stupid man knows how to make her feel seen. Not because he understands her, but because he acts before understanding is required. His ignorance becomes an engine of experience. He touches without calculating. He speaks without a thesis. He moves without overanalysis. To a woman starved for energy, he becomes the drug. You, the intelligent man, try to protect her from your flaws. He wears his flaws like cologne. You try to open the door gently, he kicks it in. You hope your restraint will be respected. He knows her emotions won't wait that long. Foucault delivers the final blow. The soul is the prison of the body. Discipline and punish. You've imprisoned yourself. Your mind has become a cage. You've intellectualized your desire so deeply that you no longer know how to express it. You think truth will win her. But she doesn't want to be convinced. She wants to be consumed. The lesson? Not to become stupid, but to unlearn your obedience to the quiet, invisible norms that have castrated your power. Stop waiting for worthiness to be granted. Stop watching life like a critic. Start shaping it like an actor. Power isn't found in knowing more. Power is found in doing more, without begging the world to validate your reasons first. If you want to win in love, or at least stop losing to fools, you must become fluent in the language of immediacy, boldness, and unapologetic self-claiming. Step into the arena Foucault described, not with a dissertation, but with presence. Women aren't choosing stupid men because they admire stupidity. They choose them because those men move through systems that intelligent men are still trying to decode. Until you learn to act, not after thinking, but as a form of thinking, you'll remain a prisoner of your own brilliance. So now you have a choice. Remain the wise ghost observing from the shadows, or step onto the stage and become the kind of man who doesn't ask for power, he radiates it. If this shattered something in you or awakened something, then it did its job. Let's be clear, this isn't about pretending to be someone you're not. It's about unlearning the obedience that has been drilled into you. About shaking off the invisible rules that have made your brilliance invisible. Power isn't found in reading more books or knowing more facts. It's found in moving through the world without hesitation, in acting before the inner critic tells you not to, in claiming space simply because it belongs to you. The intelligent man waits for permission. He calculates. He edits. He rehearses. And while he does, the fool has already won. He's already laughed with her, touched her, moved her. That's the brutal reality of attraction. It rewards immediacy, audacity, and a fearless disregard for the scripts that try to cage you. Foucault tells us that power is everywhere, circulating through networks, rituals, and social structures. The man who knows all the rules, all the expectations, and all the consequences becomes trapped in them. He hesitates. He doubts. He's stuck inside the invisible architecture of discipline. Meanwhile, the man who doesn't see the cage walks right through it. He thrives. He is terrifyingly effective. Here is the heart of the paradox. Women aren't selecting the stupid man because they want ignorance, they respond to confidence that doesn't require justification. They respond to presence that feels unearned but undeniable. They respond to the energy of someone who doesn't question himself at every step. And if you're a thinker, an analyzer, a man of depth, you're often disqualified, not because of your intelligence, but because your intelligence makes you hesitant, careful, invisible. This doesn't mean you stop being reflective or thoughtful. It means you learn to translate your depth into action. You learn to claim the stage without fear. You learn to move in the world with intelligence measured not by what you know, but by what you do. Knowledge without application is inertia. Strategy without execution is useless. Your brilliance is wasted if it never leaves your body and your voice. The lesson is simple: stop waiting for the world to acknowledge your worth. Stop trying to earn her attention with arguments, insights, or credentials. Step forward. Act. Move first. Speak first. Touch first. In the theater of life, power belongs to the bold, not the brilliant. The world rewards those who perform, not those who only understand. Foucault's insight is cruel but honest. Society rewards the functional, not the reflective. Those who conform to visibility, norms, and roles, even without mastery or understanding, will occupy the spotlight before those who truly deserve it. In matters of desire, this principle is amplified. Women respond to the man who moves through these systems fluidly, confidently, and without hesitation. So what does this mean for you, the intelligent man? Knowing more or feeling more isn't enough. You must translate your intelligence into a force that operates in real time. You must act boldly within the structures society has built, not analyze them endlessly from the sidelines. You must move first, laugh first, take the lead. The moment you hesitate, the fool has already claimed the prize. Power is kinetic, and attraction is experiential. Women don't fall for your logic, they fall for the effect you have on them. The man who understands this doesn't need permission or validation. He simply steps into the scene and becomes the gravity around which events rotate. Here's the ultimate paradox: to win in this game, you don't need to become stupid. You need to become fluent in the language of presence. You need to act with immediacy, claim your space, and radiate confidence that doesn't require justification. You must turn your intelligence into action, your thought into execution, your hesitation into momentum. Foucault reminds us that power is exercised, not possessed. It moves through social systems, through ritualized behaviors, through networks of influence. The man who moves without fear, who steps into these systems without questioning them, exercises power effortlessly. Women respond to this effortlessly. Now you know the truth. The rules you thought were fair, the systems you believed rewarded merit, they don't. They reward execution. They reward presence. They reward boldness. The fool isn't winning because he's smarter. He's winning because he's unrestrained, unapologetic, and fully present. Your task is not to hate the fool, envy him, or try to become him. Your task is to reclaim your own agency. Step into the world fully. Move without hesitation. Speak without overthinking. Act without waiting for permission. Turn your intelligence into kinetic force. Become a man whose presence cannot be ignored, whose action cannot be delayed, whose power is felt without explanation. If this message resonates, take it to heart. It's not about being the loudest, flashiest, or most ignorant. It's about refusing to be invisible. It's about refusing to wait for permission. It's about translating what you know, what you feel, and what you are into action that cannot be denied. The world rewards those who act. Women respond to those who move. The fool wins because he moves without hesitation. You win when you stop waiting, stop doubting, stop editing yourself into irrelevance, and finally step into your own gravity. So choose. Remain the quiet observer, or become the man who doesn't ask for power. He radiates it. And if this shook something in you, if it awakened a fire you didn't know existed, then it did exactly what it was supposed to do. Like, share, subscribe, and if you believe in this message, support the channel through the link in the description. No one else is saying it, but you know it needed to be said.